The mayor has been, from the beginning, even before we even knew it was going to be down here, has been a champion of this project on behalf of Stockton. There has never been a time when he has not publicly stated Stockton among the major significant changes that were going to occur in Atlantic City under his watch. And the truth of the matter is, it's happening. We're thrilled to have him as a partner. We're thrilled with the Atlantic City Police Department. They could not have done a better job, and we could not be happier having Atlantic City as our newest home for a full branch campus in this great city.
Thank you, Doctor. I think I shared with you a couple of days ago at graduation that instead of being a mayor, I feel more like a father, and my prodigal son that has been roaming the Pine Barrens, lost for 41 years, has made their way home back to Atlantic City. And so I welcome our son Stockton back where they started.
Right through we started, yeah. I mean, when the other day when we were in Boardwalk Hall and I was looking down here, and then I looked the other way towards St. James in Tennessee where the Mayflower was, to see that the university is back to when it was founded, is nothing short of phenomenal, and I could not be happier. Particularly on the old Atlantic City High School site, 1923, I think it was founded, and to have our academic building on the same site as that building, along with residence halls overlooking the ocean, is nothing short of phenomenal. We're thrilled and excited.
I think for yourself, I think I'd be excited. First of all, you were in that first class as a freshman at the Mayflower,
right.
And then, as I understand, you did your student teaching here at Atlantic City High School.
Right.
And so this property continues education for the residents of South Jersey.
And it's part of who we are. And I think there's a lot of people. One of the great things that I saw this weekend, on Friday, at commencement, was not only the excitement by the 10,000 folks that attended it, the families and the friends and the spouses and the like, and of course the graduates themselves and the faculty and staff, but the community. The entire city was alive. I saw students in gowns in the afternoons in the restaurant, on the walks, in the casinos, and that's something really exciting. And like I said, the ambassadors, the police, and everyone else associated with it, are very, very happy. And again, we've said this over and over again, we're part of a renaissance that you've helped to start. We're not the solution, okay? We're one of the solutions, and we're an anchor in what will be, I think, an internationally recognized university in both Atlantic City and, of course, Galloway.
Tell us what we're looking at.
You're talking, this is the residence hall, 533-bed residence hall. Don, you want to give some of the details? So right behind you. This guy knows more about it than anyone on the planet. Yeah, you can get in the camera. You can take off those sexy sunglasses, too. Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Well, you're looking at about 220,000 square feet, 533 beds. The whole entire first floor is really more of a commercial, retail, student activity area of offices. No residents on the first floor. They're all on the upper floors. The top of the steel that you see right here right now is basically the height of this portion of the building. And then further in the back, we call those sections A and B, will be another story up. So we have actually tested some views from the first level, and they clearly look over the dunes and into the ocean, just like we had hoped and pictured. Retail spaces right here on the boardwalk, about 2,800 square feet to my right here, and to my left, about 35 to 4,000 square feet retail space that we're marketing currently.
Do you have any takers so far?
No, we've sent out RFQs, and we're interviewing just lots of different opportunities and different people in the area who
We're
have
not ready.
expressed
We're not
interest.
ready to announce yet who the winners are. We're still in the process.
Is there any preference for local businesses?
Yeah, of course. Yes, actually, anybody that shows interest, we are actually listening to what their ideas are as well. And we're so early in the stages right now. Slabs aren't poured yet, so we have plenty of room for making changes or ideas, and all the way up into the fall. We'd like to secure something by
That'll all be public retail, not just food.
Correct.
Yes, oh, absolutely. We want to have it open to the public, not just students. You did very well.
Academic building. What's happening over there?
The academic building is following the progress of this building first. Footings and foundations are currently in place. They do all the undergrounds. And you'll start to see steel rise some around the middle of the summer, but by the end of the summer, sometime in September, all the steel will be up. This building goes a little bit faster because you can see that the floors are concrete planks. They get delivered and they get placed, so it's a little more like an erector set and it goes quicker. The other building is more of a traditional steel deck and poured concrete. they're right on schedule, if not even a little bit ahead of schedule in this building now. They've really accelerated. Gingoli is doing magnificent. The other building, the parking garage building, you'll start seeing the precast concrete come in probably in late June. It's all prefabricated, it's already completed, it's off-site, and when they start coming in, again, just like an erector said, a parking garage will go up relatively quickly, and that parking garage will be the first building to really be complete in sometime in mid-spring next year.
And above the parking garage will be how many stories worth of South Jersey?
Another 6 or 7 stories of the South Jersey.
South Jersey Industries.
Yep.
What about the county? There was a lot of chatter after the groundbreaking that the county wasn't invited. The mayor was out of town.
No, the county absolutely was invited, and I certainly shouted out the county. So they were invited, and no, they're extremely important to this project. The Improvement Authority and everything else associated with it. So no, they were invited, and they came. I mean, I think Denny may have been out of town, but he certainly was fully aware of it. And there were many members of the county.
To say they were somehow excluded.
No, not only is it's flat out. What is that called now? Fake news, right? Okay, that's what it is. Okay. No, I know that. I'm just saying that it wasn't accurate. Okay.
Amy, no more tough questions?
Go. What else? Go one more. Go ahead.
The embracing of the community and
I think that's
the
really,
university itself. There needs to be a joint.
Absolutely. And Brian, could you come here? The question surfaced about embracing the community, and why I'm bringing Brian here is our chief operating,
you
and
also.
vice versa. Brian has been our point person for the better part of almost 6-7 months now with all the community. So it is almost a year. July 1st. Why don't you tell some of the things that you do and get a sense so they get a flavor of what you bring to the table as it pertains to the community groups and everything associated?
Sure. Well, part of my responsibility has been to reach out to many of the community groups here in Atlantic City and really the region, because I've been meeting with people in Margate, Ventnor, and the like to talk about the project, to get some feedback from them, find out what their concerns are, to find out what they'd like to see as part of this project. And it's been incredibly positive for us. The community is extremely excited about Stockton coming. They're excited about the opportunities for their kids to potentially come to Stockton. They're excited about the potential of job opportunities here in Atlantic City. And they're excited about the economic impact that Stockton can have here on Atlantic City. And one of my responses to them is that, we're not the saviors of Atlantic City, but we do see ourselves as being a spoke in the wheel. There's a number of projects, initiatives, groups that are coming into Atlantic City to do good work, and we're just one of those spokes that's really going to help that wheel move towards something extremely positive for Atlantic City. So it's been really great, and we appreciate the encouragement, the support, and the endorsement that we're receiving from the residents of Atlantic City.
Just a perspective on the idea of Stockton being a cog about Atlantic City's future. The perspective would be the Northeast Inlet 25 years ago that everyone was excited about. 300 units of housing was built there and 500 people moved in, and it was a game changer for the Northeast. This building alone will have 500 residents that will be living here, staying here, walking our boardwalks, bicycling our streets, dining in our restaurants. So I think that this is going to be a big deal for Atlantic City. We're thrilled to have Stockton here, and that's just the immediate impact of the students being here. I think with Stockton's reputation and their interest in becoming part of the fiber of the city with their fraternities, their sororities, their service clubs, I think that's where we really see the gain for Atlantic City. It's that wonderful partnership. And speaking of partnerships, I don't like when people take credit when they shouldn't get credit, but in this particular case, the state of New Jersey, the county of Atlantic County, the city, and of course Stockton and stuff, we've all been partners on this, and none of us I could not have brought this in without the state and county. Needed a lot of money to have this come in. We're thrilled that we're going to be a full campus here. I know it's going to be great interaction with the Galloway campus.
Oh, absolutely.
But as Stockton comes in, we're thrilled to have it as part of our community.
Are you expecting to have to do any traffic changes or anything down there?
There have been traffic studies, and Brian might be the most current with that. And that isn't. I appreciate you bringing that up, because that's always been a concern of mine. He's smiling because it's my concern, is just to make sure that the traffic flow and the pedestrian flow is such to ensure safe conditions. And maybe Brian or Don may want to jump in, but there have been traffic studies, and we have discussed that with some of the members of the city.
true. I can tell you that we did have a traffic study. DevCode had a traffic study as the initial programming and approvals by CREDA. Also, there are going to be some modifications to the parking signal modifications, the crosswalks, and we're going to monitor it. And the president has mentioned it. We will increase our security, at least for the first time period, so we test out how the flow of the students go. You know, we can't control how they go like ants over a picnic blanket. So we're going to channel them right down to the right cross paths. But not a great deal of traffic, actually improvements are going to be needed.
Right, and if we can push them this way, in other words, which we will try to do, meaning push them this way to come across here, it's fine. We're going to obviously try to avoid having them come over, around where, everything sort of meets over by the knife and fork in. And we've thought about how, this is one of the ways we can hire more.
Would be like a Stockton exit off Albany Avenue or something that would kind of say Stockton and veer people,
I like that. If there's a philanthropist out there, I'm ready to do anything like that. Okay, and I'll throw a bridge over there and anything you want. If there's but you're right. We're looking at that. That is important to me, and they know that. And we've talked about that extensively. So we'll make it work. We will make it work.
It's kind of related though. What about the park? Do you envision that as being sort of Stockton-ish?
He's on top of the park. He's that okay
right now.
Right.
Really, nobody uses it.
Yeah, O'Donnell Memorial Park is a magnificent space here in the city, and yes, it is a bit underutilized. We are talking with the city to come up with a plan to really engage that park in a significant way, not just for our students, but also for the community. It's a beautiful space, and the students are going to enjoy it. We want to help make some improvements to the park. We want to do some additional programming in the park. Again, that's not just for our students. We're programming that we can really extend and invite the community to be a part of.
Like lighting. Some years there is lighting there, and some years not, like around the holidays, but it's kind of underlit.
Yeah, that's something that's come up in the past. And last fall, one of our senior seminar courses did a study on the park, and they developed a proposal for all kinds of wonderful initiatives that could be utilized in the park, and we hope to adopt some of those ideas.
I think O'Donnell.
Identify yourself.
Brian Jackson, I'm Chief Operating Officer for the Atlantic City
City
campus.
Okay. And you are?
I'm Don Hudson. I'm the associate.
He's Mayor Guardian.
Associate Vice President for Facilities.
He oversees all the facilities for the university and all the different sites.
I think, Amy, O'Donnell Park is going to be the Stockton what Washington Square has become for NYU. I think it becomes a wonderful facility. It's the green. It's where you're going to see students chilling and relaxing with a book or throwing a frisbee. And I think there'll be a lot of wonderful community civic and I'm looking forward actually to the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th year when we celebrate the 100th anniversary of the end of World War I with one of the most magnificent World War I memorials right here in front of Stockton. So I think that's great. They'll be coming in September. Just gives us enough time to do a wonderful ceremony to recognize the men and women that sacrificed for us in service to this country. Ending the First World War, but also to recognize all our veterans and the great programs that Stockton has for veterans as part of their academic programs.
Is that the circular one you're talking about?
Indeed.
Are you going to open that up?
Yes, I don't see any reason now not to.
Right?
And I think it has been locked. I think it's time to tear that chain down. You know, if I can steal a wall, tear down this wall. So we'll tear down that fence.
That's a good line.
The other guy's building the wall. We're tearing it down.
So,
the other Donald.
I've had the pleasure to attend a couple of the association meetings
good.
where you came up and showed the presentation.
Right.
As the project moves forward, will they also be continued to you guys show up and do the presentation?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. I have every intention of continuing to meet with the association groups throughout Atlantic City and updating them on the progress of the campus and getting feedback from them.
Great.
Absolutely. We also will be proposing, to the president, the establishment of some sort of a community-based advisory group that can work with us to give us feedback, and this is a way a vehicle for us to disseminate information about what's happening at Stockton and getting feedback from them so that people are informed as to what we want to do at Stockton here in Atlantic City.
Are you considering any kind of like a general education track, like some of the school students?
You know
for
what?
nighttime?
That is really insightful of you. The answer to that question is absolutely, and not only a general. It's called a liberal BA, is what we have at Stockton LIBA, and we were actually looking for the possibility of a 3-year year-round program. We thought that would be very, very attractive with students. Students obviously going to want to live here in the summer, okay, and to have a 3-year year-round program, a liberal BA, which is what you're talking about. Absolutely. Our provost, Laurie Vermeulen, put out a request for proposals about 6-7 months ago, and received 30-some proposals on programs coming into there. We're whittling it down, but we're also adding a second wave. So we anticipate this is going to be a very vibrant campus from the moment we open it. This we expect to be filled. This is important. We are up right now 43% on deposits for our freshman class. That is unheard of. Okay, when you have a 5% increase on the is huge. 43%. So we know we're going to be filling up Seaview this year. We want to open up full. We don't want to open up with anything with a vacancy in this building. Also, one of our visions is I can't wait to when this is filled at our first commencement after we're filled and we get the oldest alumni wearing Stockton robes down to the newest alumni marching down to Boardwalk Hall, okay, in a Stockton parade down on the Atlantic City Boardwalk. So that is a vision that we said 2 years ago we were going to do that. We did it, and we're going to do that when we open it up.
So you're going to start it here and march it down?
March them down. We'll come right out of this building, down on that out there from the oldest. We have to, push them down, whatever we have to do. We're going to get them down the end of it. Yeah, me being the first, right. Now that I think about it. I'd forgotten about that. I sort of don't remember myself back then.
Any truth to the rumor that you're eyeing some land across the bay here at Baderfield?
Truth that we're eyeing land, yes. Okay. Well, listen.
And they're going to do a new entrance here? They're going to tear everything down to the window bar? Is that...
Oh, no. We're not tearing anything down. No. Okay, no. Anything no, that's not. We were very, very clear from the beginning that it's not. We're going to build within the community that exists, okay? What we're going to try to do, listen, there will be others who will buy, okay? There's no question about that. We're looking at Bader. We put in a proposal, I think that was pretty public, that we wanted a marine science oceanography resiliency center on Baderfield. The mayor and others have, identified a tract of land on Baderfield if we can get the funding. Like I said earlier, if there is a philanthropist nearby, now I know there are some down here, that might want to, to help support something like that, we would do it. Because that would give us, remember, we have the Coastal Research Center, which is, an incredible, valuable asset for people. Forget we have, the CRC, the Coastal Research Center, is over in near the Smithville area, Port Republic area, and we, and Susan knows because she's been there a zillion times. And we also have. We have a presence in Hamilton. Yesterday, Stockton just received the Business of the Year award by the Hamilton Chamber of Commerce. So we're doing a lot of things there. We're doing stuff at Woodbine and in Southern Ocean County. So we've spread our footprint throughout the southeastern region of the state because that's who our constituency is.
So you're looking at still upperclassmen here for the...
You know what? We are looking at upperclassmen, but that doesn't mean it will be exclusively. For example, we do have a 3-year, year-round liberal, a LIBA is what we call it. That would be something where we could have first-year students. I'm not. Listen, that's been a great discussion on the campus, hasn't it? It's been one of those discussions, and of course, I'm the pro. Just bring them here. I was here, so why couldn't they be here? But we do have a very successful. We have very high retention rates and graduation rates, and part of it is our first-year program. And that's done in the dorms, and it's pretty tight. So we probably will start with upperclassmen and see how it plays out.
That's good. Even with families, not everybody's sure about having their freshmen in Atlantic City.
Sure.
They're underage, they're blah, blah, blah. And some kids don't want to. Some kids
absolutely. And listen, we want them there. It's not. We still have 3,000 beds on the main campus. We have, 300 rooms, 350 rooms over at Seaview. So, we have a number of areas where we can have students, and they're housed all over, as you well. And many are housed on. We know exactly where all of our students are housed on the Barrier Island. So we know which targets to go after, what their ages are. We know that because of parking permits. So we know where people are. Data analytics has changed the world. We can identify stuff very, very quickly.
Has it been hard to navigate with the governor's mayor takeover? Who do you
well, I don't deal with. Okay, here, everyone. Okay, let me be clear about this from the beginning. From the beginning, between the governor's office, Senator Sweeney, the DEZRs, the state, and Don said, the mayor said it, you could not get as much support as we have received from every level of government, from both parties, okay, from improvement authorities, from EDA and EFA, I mean, all of the different entities that are part of putting together a project or working with us to put together a project. This is the most complex, forget about whether it's the largest or not, that's up to some debate, public-private partnership, but it is no question the most complex deal involving so many partners, everything from South Jersey Industries to the county to the state to Stockton and the like, and yet we've pulled it off with no rancor. We've pulled it off in an incredible amount of time, and because people believe in this. People believe in this, and you know what? When people work together, great things happen, and the opposite is also true. Meaning if they don't work together, bad things happen, okay? Okay.
So it's just coincidence that the groundbreaking was when the mayor was out of town. It wasn't anything.
It was coincidence. He can answer that, but it was absolutely a coincidence. I think it was a coincidence.
How would you know?
Okay. Well, I don't think they checked his schedule to determine when the thing is. I can assure you. You had some pretty big players come down here, so I'm going to stay away from that one. We did not pick the date. We were happy with the turn. It was quite impressive.
And you're accommodating the mayor today. So
but this isn't the first time the mayor and I have gotten together on Atlantic City Boardwalk. Okay, he's a great mayor. He's very supportive of the city. Mm-hmm. But
Is the housing here going to be more expensive? I mean, obviously newer housing is always more expensive. You expect it
No. Right now, our housing structure. Remember, when we look at housing, we don't just look at this project. We look at the 33,000 other ones in this. So no, it will be on the higher end, but it won't, it'll be what Seaview is. It's not going to be, no, we were very careful not to do that. And in fact, this may in some respects be less expensive because there won't be a required meal plan. All right, because the students, we want the students to eat in the residence, eat here and eat, and hopefully restaurants and things like that hop up and around the area. And you can see it. Wonder Bar has been expanding. I think they purchased more land. Other folks, you're going to hear of a lot more sales very shortly in this city. Okay, and because
lot 21, is that like lot 54?
That's lot 21 is that one right there. That one right there. Yeah, that's of some interest to us. Okay, as we grow in the future. Let's see how this works first.
Who owns that now?
AC Defco. Defco owns it. Yep, and they own more. They own the Eldridge, the big white building over there. They own a piece of property next to it where they just leveled the building. I know you felt horrible about, but it was sort
Holiday
of
Motors
Holiday Motors.
Yeah.
So they still own property in the area. And of course, there's some other entities in there that might be of some interest down the road too. We just see how it works out.
The other thing about the rent, the prices for this building, they won't be out of line with what you would pay for market rate rent in a newer building here in Atlantic City. So it will complement what the rates will be here in Atlantic City.
Well, in fact, he's done a study. Why don't you?
Yeah, we've conducted a study to gauge the interest in our faculty, staff, and graduate students in living in Atlantic City. And I was actually pleased with the responses to it. We had well over 500, close to 600 respondents to the survey. And about a quarter of the faculty, staff, and graduate students said that they would either consider moving to Atlantic City, they would move to Atlantic City, or they would be open to learning more about the opportunities of living in Atlantic City.
I can't overstate how much this weekend meant to ameliorating some of the concerns people had. Number one, it was gorgeous. Number two, the city looked wonderful that day, as it always does. Number three, you could not, there was so much energy on the boardwalk that when the parents were when they were all around, there was a very different feel. And what it's momentum. It's like anything else. You've got to keep the momentum up and moving forward, and good things will happen. And that's what he's tried to do since he's been the mayor. That's certainly what we've tried to do since we've been here. And like I said, in anchors, think of them all. You need anchors, your Macy's, that's what you need. We're going to be one of the anchors. This is the area that we have chosen. This is the appropriate one, we think, for a university. It's on the highest elevation. We're not here of the island is right here. It doesn't get wet. That was critically important. And it's where we originally were supposed to be. That's the important point, is that when we put a proposal together several years ago, it was to be here. So, it was a circuitous route to get here, okay, but we're here.
What happened the first time? What delayed that from coming together the first gateway time.
Only one thing delays most things, okay? The money did not work out the right way at the first time around.
And it was difficult putting,
And
honestly,
right.
putting together the
This kind of
square
package.
footage was
Right.
not there.
Right.
Or the vision to have an expanded campus.
And it's important. You know, everyone looks at Chris Palladino put this deal together. Make no mistake about that. He is as good as there is in the state of New Jersey in putting together these kinds of deals to build college and university campuses. All one needs to do is go to New Brunswick and see what he's done at Rutgers, which, by the way, is his alma mater, and I tease him about that all the time. He can still get his doctoral degree at Stockton if he does everything correctly here. But Chris has done a great job cobbling together folks. It's not easy to keep that in line, and he knows how to build buildings, he knows how to pick architect.
Yep.
We have the premier architect in the state college sector, so we're happy about that, who works with is a Stockton employee, and he's got a great team of folks, so we feel real comfortable. They watch. We watch. We don't have the luxury of it. We don't have the kind of resources Rutgers does, but we have pretty good brain power, and we can figure some of these things out.
So you had the sense that after graduation, some families stayed in Atlantic City
Not a
for
sense. We know
meals?
they stayed.
went
Okay.
to the restaurants
Yeah.
and
Oh,
As a
absolutely.
matter of fact, I can speak to that. Because after graduation, I had dinner at Ruth Chris with friends, and the restaurant was packed. It was 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and the restaurant was packed. Ruth Chris Steakhouse was packed.
They had a special.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yeah.
right. And that's what we want.
They opened at 2 o'clock, and they were packed. Yeah.
When you have 10,000 people in the city and they're hungry, we didn't feed them on purpose. Okay. We wanted them to be. We didn't have that kind of reception. We wanted them to be in the city. It's important. It really is important. It's good for the region.
We saved on refreshment money.
Yeah, but you know, we had. But it was beautiful, and it was beyond our expectations. And so I feel good about that. And again, that's the work of the staff. Any other questions, Mr. Mayor?
Yourself marketing the city differently. I mean, once it becomes, you're going to a college town. It's not.
We're going to market differently, and if all you have to do is take a look at our shuttle buses. We already have it. Look at the new banners on our shuttle buses. I'm going to force you to look at them rather than me tell you what they say. But we've changed all that design, and we absolutely will have a targeted campaign beyond what we normally market. We don't spend a lot of money on marketing at Stockton. We've had a lot of success in word of mouth and other people, in essence, marketing us. We try to stay in the newspapers, you well know. And so one of the things that, even though print media doesn't have quite, social media is critically important with the young folks. But no, we are definitely going to have a marketing campaign for Atlantic City.
And next week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we have a group coming in, including students, and we're going to be doing photo shoots all over the city with iconic Atlantic City locations as the backdrop.
When you apply to Stockton, will you check your preference kind of thing?
Only for your housing. Only for your housing. And we can't get to that level of detail because it really will depend upon the programs that we finally put. I mean, we know some. We know hospitality will be here, social work here.
Living here, you'll be back and forth.
Or vice versa. You could live here and take all your courses in Galloway. So it would be however it works out. Keeping in mind, we have different, remember at Stockton, if you figured at 9,000 students, right now we have about 3,200 on campus. We have 3,000 who literally come from home. Then we have another 3,000 that are living Barrier Islands, they're living in Galloway, they're living in EHT, who use the campus as their living room, but they, reside with friends in houses, apartments, and things like that. And now here, this will give a whole nother option for those students. But we intend to fill this with, when I say new students, we're not staying at 9,000, we're growing. That's important to understand. Our goal is to have 10,000 in another 2 to 3 years. So, and then we'll see where we go from there.
And I'm personally looking not only to cutting the ribbon for opening day, but announcing plans with Dr. For phase 2 in Atlantic City.
He puts the pressure on. Oh, there's room for a couple more buildings in this city. You think we got some room for some more buildings? Yeah.
I have fun.
We've always taken. We've looked at it half a dozen times, and so there's always. I'm particularly fond of that parking garage and the administrative safe above it, and you never know how things turn out down the road.